Senator Hwang, to be followed by Senator Berthel.
Thank you, Madam President. I am so honored to be able to speak in the circle as a senator for the 28th District, and I value the privilege of representing Fairfield, Easton, Bethel, and poignantly, Newtown, Sandy Hook. And nearly 10 years ago, many of our colleagues went through an unenviable experience where we deliberated and went through the emotional exchange and debate and public hearings at school auditoriums, the weight of an entire nation watching us, the weight of meeting family members of the victims as they interacted with us and shared their loss and sorrow, the countless pictures of funerals and loss and pain. It's remarkable because as we deliberated and reviewed this process today, all of it came back. All of it. All of the emotion, all of the weight, and all of the anger all came back in this debate. It's ironic, it's 10 years. And we struggled. I mean, we really struggled hugging our loved ones, imagining the unimaginable happening. You know, the evil of murder. It's hard to say, because that's what it was. Murder of precious children, innocent children, along with courageous and loving administrators and teachers. It broke our psyche. It broke that kind of sense of safety and security that we have, that we lived in thinking, this is the perfect life. We drop off our kids at school. They'll come home, we'll make them lunch. What happened at Sandy Hook changed the narrative that those kids never went home. Those parents, those grandparents will never, ever see those beautiful children again. And so we begin this process of changing this country, changing the emotion of gun control debate. With that as our tipping point. And we passed a near unanimous and bipartisan bill. It was painful getting there. But what I remember was there was a guiding principle that we weren't doing it for one side to win and the other to lose. We were doing it to honor and respect and to prevent any further senseless tragedy to happen in our state. Did I wish that perhaps our federal government could have gotten together and passed universal background checks to be able to consider some of the amendments that were offered here? Absolutely. We passed 10 years ago nearly a bipartisan, nearly unanimous bill because we were focused in working together, because we had a more important principle that we had to honor those families. There was no political partisanship. And to be clear, I'm a proud Connecticut Republican, and I will vote for this bill tonight to move us forward, just as I did 10 years ago. And I've been an ardent supporter of sensible, reasonable gun safety measures in my experience in this legislature. I know I'm going to draw the ire of people who passionately believe that their Second Amendment rights are being overridden, being disrespected, and being denied. And I want them to know that I truly respect and value our Constitution and the Second Amendment. But I do believe that we need to do something to address the violence in our society. Gun safety is going to be one of those issues, but we have so many other issues. But I'm going to draw the ire, and you know what? That is the difference between being elected and sitting in a circle and having to cast votes and working to represent people. There'll be many people that'll step up and say, you're wrong. But they're not here casting votes. They're not here encountering the emotion and the tumult that we experience for the respect of the people we represent. But I understand it's a stand and it's a vote we're going to have to take. But I have to admit, the divide in this state and in this country, and even spreading down to our local municipalities and our neighborhoods, is so markedly different than when we approached this issue 10 years ago. We have become bitterly divided and so angry, and have taken such strident sides anytime this debate occurs. Dare I even say, has become partisanly divided. You're either pro-gun or you're anti-gun. No consideration is given nor allowed for any extenuating circumstances to address issues that may affect individuals' unique circumstances. We have blanket, black and white, you're for us or you're against us. It really has become a political battleground. Truly, you're either with us or we're going to be relentlessly against you. That's what it's become. It really has become that. And when it gets to that, I remind myself, nearly 10 years ago, we got together and made some difficult decisions. But we were bound by the memory and the responsibility that we have to do something to honor those lost. We have seen countless people die in our communities, in our cities, in our suburbs, and in our rural areas in Connecticut. But we've seen them die by cars. We've seen them die by knives. We've seen them die by drugs. We've seen them die by mental illness, and yes, we've seen them die by guns as well. But what Sandy Hook left all of us was a lasting trauma that it was a loss of innocence, and that it was perpetrated by guns. That's the flashpoint. We're going to take that out of play. But we're not going to listen when other people offer different solutions and say it isn't always guns that kill, that there are other factors that come into play. Nope, it's got to be guns, because it's a flashpoint. The battle against drugs, the fight against mental illness, cars being driven impaired, they kill too. Where's the fierceness? Where is the strident debate of casting one side versus the other? It's an easy flashpoint. Like I said, it's become politically partisan. And I think it is reinforced and has become such a charge point because Sandy Hook will forever define our generation. but it's not allowed to go away. It's not allowed to ebb into the memory of respecting, memorializing, and learning and moving forward. Nope. Every time there's a shooting, and unfortunately there's way too many, anytime there is a mass shooting, anytime there is a perpetration of killing by guns, Sandy Hook is always evoked. I represent the people of Sandy Hook. I've seen them. When there's a mass shooting, TV cameras come into town. They want to interview people. How do you feel? It's like pulling a scab off. Every time, people are not allowed to recover. Because in this day and age, the news cycle says it's must-see TV. It's must-see social media. It's must repeat often of a gun debate that either you're with us or you're against us. People are not allowed to settle back, reflect, look at what's important, and work together. We take a position, it's our way or it's the wrong way. I've been listening to the amendments that are offered here tonight, and I want to commend the chair of the judiciary for accommodating and listening to it all, and even acknowledging a possible amendment that had value. But I thought many of these amendments have value. But every single one of them voted down by party line. It's not good policy. It reinforces the fight. It's either my way or no way. And you wonder why we create such dysfunction in our society. So, I'll look forward to listening to more of the debate. I'll be moving forward in support of this, but I urge that we must do far, far better to respect and honor those that have been lost, senselessly lost. Because for us in this circle, we have the greatest privilege of being able to represent the people and do right by them. Not Republican, not Democrat, not pro-gun, not anti-gun, but the best possible policy that'll create a safer generation, a more respectful and engaged and supportive society. We still have a long ways to go. I must say, we live in very, very different times since Sandy Hook. And dare I say, we live in very dangerous times. And if we continue along these lines, I'm fearful that we don't set the right examples that we should for future generations. Those individuals, those young people that will lead us, if this is the example that we set for them, then we have truly done them an injustice. So thank you, Madam President. I gave the good chair of the judiciary some rest, and I appreciated the opportunity to share some of my thoughts. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Senator Berthel.